Hello! Welcome to this year's recap of Minecraft Live, our reactions. Yeah. Obviously, here with Troj and Dinius the Genius and Caspas. We're all here to look at
Minecraft The Wild Update.
The brand new The Wild Update.
What she said.
119. Now, so the first thing is the Deep Dark cities. So the Deep Dark has been moved out of caves and cliffs into the Wild Update and got more expansive.
Ooh. Looking forward to the Deep Dark cave.
Yeah, we're now going to have to wait a little bit longer.
Annoying.
But this reminds me of like Lost Dwarven Cities.
Ah. By the looks of it, there's new vines.
Possibly. Different types of skulks. See that?
Yeah. See that stuff on the floor?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like that could be a new type of vine.
I think it's something. We'll have a chat about it in a sec.
Where's?
I have a feeling that stuff, I don't know where my mouse is showing up on screen, that stuff, I think that's going to give off a very low light source like the glow light. And that's what I think, because if you look here, where it is on the thing, there's no light above it, but there's sort of ambient lighting.
Yeah.
I sort of feel. So the update, this has been taken out of Caves and Cliffs 2. So there's no Deep Dark in that. And it's now, but
I was really looking forward to
Overworld Bastions.
Ooh.
I just hope
Would
that
that
it's
be
got...
loot though?
They did say that there's loot and exclusive loot.
Like
now,
what?
some new stuff.
Like candles?
Sure, it's not just going to be candles, brother.
There's candles.
Because this is going to be a very scary and dangerous place.
Oh yeah, especially because of the new mob.
Well, let's move on.
Warden, I think.
Yes, but let's move on. Let's have a look at it. Because we'll see more. But let's just hope, because it is so scary and dangerous, let's hope the loot they give you actually makes it worthwhile to explore these things. Let's have a look. I like the idea of having new structures.
And one of them actually is something called a skull catalyst. And the main thing about the skull catalyst is it's actually what causes the skull to spread. As you can see here, whenever a mob dies, such as a zombie, near the skull catalyst, it actually spreads skull underneath it. And the amount is based on how much XP that zombie would have dropped.
Wow. So, the Deep Dark, it's kind of overgrown with all these skull blocks, so that means that lots of mobs must have died there?
Quite a lot, yes.
It makes it less scary.
So, you understand what that means?
XP.
Yeah.
But also, it's like moss. If something dies near it, it spreads like moss.
Sorta. But you know what you'd be able to use this for?
What?
So you know if you do an AFK mob farm,
Yeah.
you just usually get the drops.
Yeah.
Now you get the drops and the XP. If you come up with some sort of farm.
Oh yeah.
So if the skulk, whatever this is, I can't remember what they called it.
Skulk.
Catalyst. So if a mob dies near it, it'll spread more skulk. This new block. This new block.
Under me.
Underneath. But the mob dies, does its drops, and its XP. So there's a whole new way there.
So basically you would get double the XP.
What are you doing? You would actually you go wandering off into the Deep Dark. You just go. Come back here.
Oh, and as you can see here, when you mine some of the skull blocks, you actually get
there's a new
enchanting
type of
ones.
vine.
But look also, another use for the hoe.
Yeah, before these updates, before 1.16, the hoe was absolutely
What I like about 16, 17, 18 and now 19 is that they seem to be bringing in more uses for things that didn't have a use.
like the hoe.
Like the hoe. But also like gold, it really wasn't useful. Now it's useful.
For piglins.
For piglin trading, because the amount of stuff that you can convert gold into via piglin trading is intense. What I don't quite understand and what I don't quite like at this point is that but they're also introducing things for the sake of introducing things. Like the goat. It has no use. It has no purpose. But we have a goat, and it's just like adding something in for the point of having a goat. I don't care about floating my goat. I want my goat to do stuff, not just go scream, headbutt. Whoop-de-doo.
Or maybe
Then we have the skunk shrieker. So when this block is activated, it's gonna give that really scary shriek sound that you heard now, and it also gives this darkness effect. So it's like pulsating darkness.
New effect, darkness.
You can see now when you're sneaking and you step on a skulk sensor, even sneaking it will activate.
Okay, so before we jump onto this, so we saw the Warden in the update last year.
yeah.
What did it react to?
Skulk sensors,
Footsteps.
Sound.
sound, vibration.
So now they've put in shriekers,
Oh,
which
no.
puts out.
The lie.
Vibrations.
So
and
you watch how dangerous it is going to be going through these cities.
It's gonna
You
make
watch.
it a lot more fun,
You
though.
watch. Can I just say, let's just hope that the loot in the cities are a lot better than what they just showed in that chest. String and snowballs. I mean, really.
And books.
And books, but let's hope there's something better than that.
Whoop-de-doo about books. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
I don't like where this is going.
What, they come out of the...
The wardens are hiding in the walls and the floors, and if you make too much noise, woof, here they come at you. But that's not all now. So I really like that they've added that element of me having to sneak in the game. But did you just hear that? He went. They can smell you too. Yeah, trying to smell you. So you can't just be hidden from them now. You actually have to. You have to keep moving because they will be able to find you. By smell.
Well, their hitbox is tall, so you can hide in a 2x2.
Well.
Oh, wait. Never mind. Whoa! They do heaps amount of damage.
So before we move on to that one, so that's going to be very interesting. But there was talk by the developers that they would make the Warden be able to break blocks. So they're aiming for the Warden to be a real challenge. So I think the Skulk sensors are going to add something very interesting when it comes to Redstone. You've got opportunities for mob farms, dropping XP, AFK XP farm mob
You also
farms.
have opportunities for traps. With the Skulk sensors.
He can speak.
I swear
He
I can speak.
Yeah, words are hard. Words are hard. But yes, you're right. I think there's opportunities for that sort of shenanigans. But also, let's hope that we actually get some decent loot out of those things.
Yes,
Yeah.
not just snowballs
And string.
and
Yeah.
string.
Yeah. But
How
that
would
Warden,
you even get snowballs in that chest?
that Warden I think is going to be very interesting. Can you imagine if they are very, very tough, having like a server event where you go hunting the Warden
Oh.
as a group, as a team? That could be cool. But let's have a look what else we got going on. Now, we have to keep moving along. This next thing you're about to see, I'm so excited by it.
Oh no.
I am so excited by it. And as soon as I saw it, let's see if you get the same reaction.
What? What?
That's gonna make things so much easier.
You know what my first thought was when I saw that? Sea of Thieves rowboats. Okay. But mangrove trees. We get new wood. I got more wood. New wood.
Oh, he has more wood. He loves wood.
I've got wood.
Oh my goodness, if only you guys knew.
What
Anyway,
about mangoes?
so merchandise now available. Check the link below. The link?
What?
Check the link below.
And
Now-
propagules grow from mangrove trees. They're actually like ready to grow mini mangroves growing from the mangrove. And you can see here the
I
mangrove
think it
tree
looks very
grows
much
propped up on
familiar,
wood blocks.
very much like
It
jungle.
has vines hanging down from the
Log.
leaves. The propagules are actually growing underneath
The
the
roots.
leaves. They actually grow from
Mangrove
the leaves
roots.
themselves. And I really like how the propagules are looking here.
And like always when we add a new tree, we're so happy, like we get so many questions from the community, like, will there be a new wood type?
New wood.
and therefore we're so happy.
So,
What's the difference between acacia and this?
So to me, this actually looks like it's a combination between acacia and jungle. And I think this was a great missed opportunity with the azalea trees. Because you get azalea bushes and azalea trees, but you get oak wood out of it. That would have been a great opportunity to add in another wood variant.
Mangroves. And look at it, I think it's really pretty. And you also don't see like all the blocks.
I hope the log variant though, if you can see the log here, which is actually the same colour as Caspass's dress, I hope that actually changes, because to me that's too close to jungle. Like you can see jungle beside it. I think it's too close to the jungle texture.
It looks like poo poo.
Here, it's gonna be like a full set for the wood types. It's gonna be like doors and trapdoors and so on.
So as you can see in this video, walking around, you're just completely surrounded in the mangrove swamp.
New
It's just
biome.
mangroves as far as the eye can see, just like in real life.
And I think those
You have all
blocks, the
mangroves
root
propped up
blocks,
on their
look
roots,
amazing
growing in
for
the
adding
water,
texture to
so you
builds.
can take your boat underneath like Agnes likes, and you're just
Like
completely surrounded.
you would think you
What dirt
think,
is that?
huh?
What would that dirt be?
What would that dirt be?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're adding really cool renewability mechanics to mud. The first of which is if you take a
Mud.
dirt block and pour a water bottle on it, then you can get more mud. And then the other one is if you take your mud block and you stick it on top of the dripstone, it will sort of like drip the water out of the mud and eventually dry it out. Mud brick.
So you're going to get renewable clay. Now,
What's renewable clay?
clay.
Yeah.
So at the moment, the only way to get clay is go and dig it out of a riverbed or a swamp.
Yeah.
You can now create a clay farm. That's interesting to me. Again, they're adding in a mechanic that replaces the act of mining. Little bobblehead. What's interesting to me is that they're introducing yet another mechanic into the game that replaces the act of mining in a game called Minecraft. Interesting. But yes, it's also replacing a villager trade, so that'll be interesting.
What's that?
Yeah, what is this?
Mud bricks.
What?
A really, really exciting like building block. And as you can see here, the brick texture is actually different than the other stone bricks that we have in the game. So they're sort of smaller, more compact, but it is really cool like to build with. It matches a lot of different block sets, and I'm really excited to build with them.
And now here's one for Cass.
Yay! Yay! Baby, baby,
Wait.
baby.
Cute and derpy animals.
Yay! Yay! Baby.
Like a ribbon.
They're derpy. Look at them jumping all over the place. But again,
They are so.
again, he's pointing at this one above Cassie's head. But you're not pointing at.
It's
Anyway.
stuck in time.
Anyway, again, let's hope the frogs do something useful. Otherwise, we're just adding something into the game for the sake of having something in the game. Let's hope it has some sort of useful benefit to the players. And as well as flogs, we get flogs. Frogs, we are getting...
Fireflies!
We're
Making it feel just nice and cozy.
Yes,
at
I
night,
did get a
but really,
firefly stuck in my
my
mouth.
favorite part
Wait,
of
can
them
you
is just
kill
making
it?
the world come to life, like feeling like.
So to me, they look like particles. So what I would be interested in seeing is if you'd be able to capture them and use them as a light source for something,
Yes, in
or
like
to
a
add it to
bottle.
ambience, like the
Light level.
spore blossom. Be nice to have different sort of particles, like flashing particles. That's what they look like to me. It's just particles. So it'd be interesting
Also,
to see how they implement that.
Maybe if you can, like, maybe they'll add like you a way to like catch it in bottles.
And turn it into like a light globe.
Yeah.
Or unless we get
Turn
like
into
these
some sort of
little
light
things
source.
from Smurfs and shake it.
Oh my But they do have one use besides lighting.
There's life going on all around you, and oh yeah, also they're frog food. Yeah, forgot to mention that. They're frog food.
Poor
They're
Firefly.
so derpy. Frogs are so derpy.
What's this, Cass?
Tadpoles.
Why are frogs
Tadpoles.
so derpy?
So baby frogs are going to be tadpoles, and then interestingly, I don't know whether they'll explain it or I'll have to.
Yeah, as you can see here. So the frogs have kind of like two main systems. One is the tadpole system, and the other one is the cold-blooded system. So the frogs are like the first cold-blooded animal in Minecraft. And in real life,
Say you were venturing out into the depth.
Okay, so what they're going to explain, there's 3 different sort of frogs. So if you capture a tadpole and you take it into a different sort of environment,
Capture it.
a bucket,
Oh, you.
right? You capture it in a bucket, you take it into a different sort of biome with a different temperature, you'll get a different sort of frog.
So like desert.
So you got frog, snowy frog, tropical frog. So if you have a look, he'll explain here.
We'll definitely.
Or
get
the
one
jungle,
tropical.
and you take your tadpole with you, and if it grows up there, it'll turn into a lovely tropical frog. And what I really love about the tropical frogs is how just relaxed they look, and they're like blending into the sand almost. They're just so relaxed.
So that's it. That is the wild update 119 that was revealed overnight.
Frog.
What do we think?
Froggy,
Okay,
froggy,
I have a
frog.
question.
Hang on. So Cass, you're excited about the frogs?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
a question
Yes.
about the frogs.
Yes, Dinius.
If maybe they could like add a feature to the frog, so like they can attack.
Not everything in the game has to be an attack and a war, Dinius.
Can we also, what if there's like this, like if you could capture the fireflies and also feed it to the frogs, so then you can also tame the frogs and then you have,
Breed the frogs.
yeah.
Probably be able to, I would guess. That makes sense to me. They did say that each of the frogs will have a benefit for the player. They just don't know what yet. They haven't thought about it.
Yeah.
I hope that they actually do. I don't want another goat situation where the goat's nice to have and all, and it's nice to float your goat, but apart from floating your goat, the goat ain't got a use.
And it goes, wee.
I'm actually looking forward to it.
For me, this update, I think you could call it the leftover and what else update,
Yeah.
because they've obviously decided that they with the 117 update they bit off way too much. That's why they split that into 2.
Yeah, they bit off more than they can chew.
Now they're taking more that they haven't been able to accomplish, which is the deep dark, and turning it into its own update, and then going, what else can we do to add some depth to this update? And they've gone, oh, let's update the swamp. So that's what it feels like to me.
Fair point. The swamps were very bland. And
They were not the best
useless.
biome. They were quite useless. I agree with you. So they did need an update, but it just seems to me like they're just almost like they've now spread 117 into 3 updates. 17, 18, and 19 now seems to be that. I'm disappointed in the fact that, well, let me rephrase that. I like the fact we're getting new blocks to play with. I'm really looking forward to the Deep Dark. I think that's going to be a really good addition to the game. And, you know, you think of the game like Decked Out from Tango. Imagine him, you imagine him putting in a Warden or something like that into a game situation. I think that would be tremendous. But, right?
might break blocks.
It might break blocks. But, for me, I think before all of this, should have got an end update.
And
The end is now a boring, repetitive world. It needs an overhaul.
It
Like-
needs end frogs.
But I don't think... End frogs?
they're like Endermen, but instead of jumping, they teleport.
Oh my goodness. On that note, guys, I hope you've enjoyed our reactions to the Wild update. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Did you like
Also-
seeing the... Yes, Cass.
I wish there was rainbows after it rains and the sun shines. It's rainbow. And unicorns.
We'll see you guys next time. Bye. A massive thank you to our wonderful patrons and supporters. Your support is very much appreciated and will allow us to improve our content for your enjoyment. You can find us on Patreon, link in the description below.